In this video, I want to show you how to generate a grid of images that represent the same scene from multiple angles. This allows you to choose the best shots for your animations or create quick camera transitions while keeping the same scene consistent. The first thing you need to do is choose the image you want to use. I've selected this one because it's quite dynamic and works well for multi-angle views, which are often used in cinema to show the same event from different perspectives and extend the overall scene. For this, we'll use the grid feature. The grid has two main functions, multi-view and storyboard. For now, I'll show you multi-view, which is designed to generate different angles of the same scene. Keep in mind that models are not perfect yet, so they won't always produce fully consistent results. However, by generating multiple shots, you can still get a variety of interesting angles. Storyboard, on the other hand, is used to generate a sequence of scenes based on a story. Even with a simple description, the system will try to create a coherent narrative, or at least a portion of a larger story. Let's start with multi-view. It's very simple. First, give your grid a name, then choose the number of cells you want, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, or 4 by 4. Right below, you'll see a summary of the subject and the environment, although you might decide to adjust it later. Once that's done, you just need to generate the image. Don't forget to select the image provider and the resolution you want, then simply wait for the generation. And here's the result. As you can see, you now have multiple angles capturing nearby moments of the same scene. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not perfect. Some cells may look very similar. However, you can regenerate individual cells to get different results. You can also replace a cell with another image from a previous generation or create an HD version of a specific cell. This is important because the grid is initially generated as a single image divided into sections. By opening each cell, you can generate a high-definition version, which is much better for actual use. Let me show you an example. To generate the HD version of a cell, just click the button and wait. And here it is. It's the same image, but now in high resolution. You can preview it, check the details, and decide whether to keep it, regenerate it, or move on to other images. If you want to regenerate a cell and get a completely different result, click on Regenerate. A model will open where you can define additional details. The first thing you'll notice is that you can choose whether to send references to the model. In this case, since I want a completely different result, I disable the original cell reference. Otherwise, the model would try to modify it instead of creating something new. However, I keep the character reference. For consistency, I also include the original high-resolution image as a reference, not the low-resolution cell, but the full image. I assigned it a name so I can reference it in the prompt. At this point, I can write my prompt, define the rules, include the HD references, and generate again. As you can see, the new image doesn't perfectly match my request, but it still gives me a different perspective close to what I was aiming for. That's it for multi-view. Now let's take a look at storyboard. To get started, the first thing you should do, so you don't forget later, is select the generation model. I recommend using Nano Banana Pro. Then you need an initial image. I'll use one I generated in a previous video and paste it here. This will be the starting point for the entire story. Next, you add your elements and characters by defining a name and a short description for each. The description helps the system keep the character consistent across scenes. I'll add Chris and Natalie, each with their own name and description. Now open the grid, give it a name, and select the storyboard option. Just like before, you can choose the number of cells. I usually stick with the standard one. For the view type, I select dynamic. The static option would keep the same camera angle throughout the story. In the subject field, you describe your story, referencing characters using the @ sign. Once everything is set, click Generate and Rate. This process takes a bit longer than generating a single image because the system needs to create multiple coherent scenes and a meaningful sequence. And here's the final result, a complete storyline based on your description, even if it wasn't very detailed. Just like before, you can generate HD versions, regenerate images, or add your own external images. Now you know exactly how to create multiple angles of the same scene or build a visual story using generated shots that you can later combine into a short film. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching until the end. As always, feel free to interact with me, send suggestions or request features, and I'll do my best to implement the most useful ones. If you enjoyed this video, take a second to leave a like. And if you are interested in this software, follow me to stay updated on new features. If you don't see the download link in the description yet, check back soon, it will be available shortly.
So, see you next time and thanks for watching.